What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I want to talk to you guys about something that has been sparking the interest of the boxing community for the last few days. You know, the conference call with Shelly Finkel that was on there for just a second, and Deontay Wilder. The more and more, because this was such a long podcast, I could not cover everything with my recap. Okay, it was kind of like a partial recap. It was a partial recap because it was so damn long. But I wanted to talk to you guys about, when they were interviewing Shelly Finkel, and before he was asked some questions that I don't think that he was comfortable asking. It's just a second. And he got off the phone and never came back. And, they were asking him about Vladimir Klitschko. They were like, hey, were there any negotiations when Deontay Wilder got the championship belt to fight Klitschko? And they were like, no, there were no negotiations to fight Klitschko. And they were like, well, why? Why wasn't there, why wasn't there any negotiation? Well, we felt that Deontay should defend his title 2 or 3 times before Klitschko. So, see how it would feel. That's what he said. I wanted to see how it would feel, before Klitschko, before Wilder took on Klitschko. And then he got off the phone. You know what I mean? Because, he wasn't ready for the questions that were I don't know what the questions were going to be because, he didn't give anyone time to do shit. He just got off. You know what I'm saying? And it was a trip because then Deontay Wilder started talking, and then they didn't ask him shit about Klitschko. Wilder gets to talking about numbers and percentages and stuff like that. And, the boxing voice, they were hype and, but even they can see through that shit. They're like, this dude don't want to fight nobody. You got $8 or $9 million for your last fight. He ain't got no 14 million. That man, okay, they're offering you $28 million. Now, the question I have for Deontay Wilder is $28 million slave wages? You know what I mean? $15 million, man. Look. This motherfucker acting like he's pretending like he's Gennady Golovkin or somebody. You know why Gennady Golovkin got a percentage split instead of Deontay Wilder? Because Deontay Wilder, up until that time, hadn't had a pay-per-view of his own. Okay, he hadn't had that type of publicity. People knew who the hell Triple G was. Triple G's coming over here knocking out people where people were avoiding him like Luis Ortiz was being avoided, not Deontay Wilder. People weren't avoiding Deontay Wilder. In fact, it was the other way around. Deontay Wilder was considered a cherry picker. Him and Danny Garcia, and this was a few years ago because negotiations with fights and fighters like Vladimir Klitschko was never done. As Shelly Finkel admitted, we never even had any negotiations because we didn't feel Deontay Wilder was ready to go on and take on a fight like that to that magnitude. Okay, so he was considered being a cherry picker. Golovkin was that guy was avoided and was knocking everybody out cold, hitting them to the body and making them quit and shit on themselves and piss blood and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? So he became popular because he just kept knocking people out until the right person came along that gave him that fight, that gave him that opportunity to ask for that type of money, that had a pay-per-view for himself. His first pay-per-view was David Lemieux. Okay? Deontay Wilder didn't know what the hell a pay-per-view was. You couldn't put Deontay Wilder and pay-per-view in the same sentence. Okay? That wasn't the case with him. So for him to compare himself to someone like Triple G, and no, the split didn't work for Triple G because he deserved more money because that fight built and Canelo gave up his belt so he did not have to fight him. Okay? No one gave up a belt for you. You still have a damn mandatory that you haven't fought at all. Okay? You were that particular guy that had the WBC belt, that fought a bunch of nobodies. Nobody knew who you were at all. Nobody knew. Okay, so you can kill all that. You know what I'm saying? So the money that you think that you're worth, you're not. And that pretending to be A-side shit, we gonna freeze him out, we gonna leave him in the dark and all that. Look, when Deontay Wilder, to see, we've already got things established in line. We already know that Ben Davison has came out on the behalf of his fighter and said, I don't think it's a good deal. I don't think it's a good idea for Fury to fight Deontay Wilder right now in a rematch. Not right now. I think that Deontay Wilder should handle his business, and negotiate his business with Anthony Joshua so these guys can fight each other. So whoever the winner is can fight Tyson Fury. Let Tyson Fury, get another fight under his belt. See, that's what I've been saying. That's what a lot of people were saying about Fury. We all knew that. Fury came in half-cocked. Fury wasn't ready. Fury, look, belief is a very, very powerful thing. He believed he can beat Deontay Wilder, and he did that. You know what I mean? They gave Deontay a gift draw, on his first pay-per-view. They spared that kid. You know what I'm saying? They knew that the American public and stuff like that. The two knockdowns, it made it interesting. It made the argument, right? So anybody can argue. But Deontay Wilder, I repeat, Deontay Wilder did not win that fight. He says, and he's blasting everybody like Paulo Malignaggi and Floyd Mayweather and Andre Ward and all these people that think that he lost. And he's getting pissed at them. But, instead of a person saying, okay, you have your own opinion about that. They have their own opinion about who won, and I have people that think I won. He wants to blast them, and he wants to ridicule them. Like I had to get on Paulie about the Ortiz fight, and, even we asked Ortiz, and Ortiz said, well, if I got the same amount of time, if he got time, that means I got time. Let me tell you something about Ortiz. I like Ortiz as a fighter, but he's not a promoter. He can't speak for himself, and I think he needs better management also. Because if he had legitimate or better management, they would have saw, like a lot of people saw in that Wilder fight. Wilder hit this guy behind the head multiple times. Now, if he would have pulled that same shit with Tyson Fury, do you think people would have been quiet like Ortiz's camp and Ortiz's corner? No. It wouldn't have been a fight like that. It would have been, oh, no. Wilder was clearly fouled, and he fouled his way to a victory. And that's the truth. He hit Ortiz, and then after that, he threw him into the ropes. Then after that, he whacked him behind the head twice. He pulled a fucking Pritchard Cologne twice, then threw him into the ropes. Then when he got up, he did the same shit. He hit him a legitimate time, then he hit him behind the head, then he hit him behind the head, then he hit him behind the head. You know what I mean? And that's what he did. So Ortiz's camp, I was surprised, like, well, damn, why is Ortiz's corner at? Why they ain't saying shit about this? I would have been like, hey, you got whacked behind the head multiple times. What's up with that? You know what I mean? Like, dude, you know what I mean? Even I told Ortiz, like, I inboxed Ortiz, and it was like, dude, your corner should have addressed that to the referee. And then what was sad, the referee was bought, giving him that extra time. You know what I'm saying? They gave him that extra time because they wanted him to recuperate. I don't know how they don't understand that. You gave the wounded fighter or the hurt fighter time to recuperate. Damn, giving you more time. You could have had more time to do what you needed to do while he was hurt. I don't see how they don't understand that. But that's Ortiz's, but Ortiz is a fighter at the end of the day, and that's why, supervision or management is very important with fighters, because you want to be with someone that protects you. You don't want to be with someone that, lets you fight any damn body and throw caution to the wind on what happens in a fight. Well, it's a fight. You can't think of it like that. You have rules to a fight. Okay. This isn't like an underground cage and no shit like that. Okay. This is a sanctioning fight that has rules, and Deontay Wilder was allowed to do things in that fight. Now, why is that fight significant? Because that's the only fight that Deontay Wilder can claim credit for of fighting someone that was about shit. You know what I mean? And then a lot of people criticize Ortiz. Well, Ortiz hadn't fought nobody because Ortiz was avoided. I get that. But that's the only person, that's his only claim to fame. And the other fighter that you fought, you drawed with. So it goes back to one legitimate fighter that you've ever fought. But now you want 50-50. You want a 60-40 in favor of you. Look, Deontay Wilder needs to stop pretending like he's the A-side. Deontay Wilder needs to stop letting these people that work for him or he works for or whatever, however you want to name it, quit selling him bullshit. Because this is clearly what it is. They've got in his head telling him about numbers and shit like that. You know, he's not thinking about the long haul. He's thinking about, well, how much money I can get. They need to come correct with the money. The dude offering you $28 million. You know, I don't understand why he couldn't take that money. You know what I'm saying? And then let me get this straight. If you think Anthony Joshua was freezing you out, was pretending like he was the only fighter that's relevant, what are you doing now? So you're going to turn around and become that fighter that pretends like you're the only fighter that's relevant now. Because that's what it's acting like. It's like this, guys. It's like a person saying, you know, Fidel Castro, right? People complain about Fidel. You know, he was a dictator. So you're going to get rid of him and put another dictator in there. So, you know what I mean? And the same people that were complaining are the same people that are doing the same things they were complaining about. That's what Deontay Wilder is. That's what he's doing. That's what he's claiming to do. Okay, yeah, we're going to freeze you out. We're going to leave you in the dark. Ha ha, I don't want to fight you now. I don't want to fight you and all this shit. Okay, so you're trying to say Anthony Joshua is a fighter that pretends like he's the only one relevant. Now you get one pay-per-view. You make a little bit more money than you've ever made. Now you're that person that you say Anthony Joshua is. You see what I'm saying, guys? Now he's pretending like, yeah, I'm the A-side. Yeah, he's been saying that A-side shit for a long time. It's an A-side lie, mind you. But he's the guy now that's saying, you know what? We're going to leave you out in the dark. We're going to teach him a lesson. You hear this shit? We're going to teach him a lesson? Man, you got one belt. You are one punch away from being forgotten forever. And if he goes and fights Dominic Breazeale, because that looks like that's the fight that's going to happen. You know what I mean? And I'm Tyson Fury. I wouldn't fight him in the United States anymore. No, I'm bringing your ass to the UK. I'm taking you to the UK. You know what I'm saying? I'm not fighting you in America no more. You coming to my land if you want this fight. So if they want that fight that bad, they're bringing their ass over the pond. You know? But that fight that shouldn't happen. I'm for it. I'd want to say, yeah, Deontay Wilder has Fury problems, but Fury don't have Deontay Wilder problems. So let me get that straight before people, well, you said he has problems. Yeah, he has problems with Fury. Fury don't have problems with Deontay Wilder because everyone knows, and a lot of people know, that Fury won that didn't have a fucking agenda. Okay? And even the guys on the LDBC, Blue Blood, I know him personally said in his videos, no, I think Fury edged that fight. That's all you need to know. He didn't say it too loud, but he said it. Right? So, yeah, the fight between Wilder and Fury shouldn't happen right now. He fights Breazeale. I hope Breazeale knocks him out. I hope he does, because someone like Deontay Wilder has to be humbled one way or the other. It is going to take someone knocking his bamboo-legged ass out to get him to know it's not all about me, and it never really was. I'm just a person that's still trying to get known again, right? In my own country. So how is it all about me all of a sudden just because I do one fucking pay-per-view? That's like Triple G saying, hey, I beat David Lemieux on pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? I'm the shit now. Give me more money. You know what I mean? And he deserves more money on what he's done because of what those circumstances were, like I just explained earlier. Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua ain't gave a fucking belt up to not to fight Deontay Wilder. He's offered him more and more and more fucking money, and then he's acting like, no, it's not good enough. No, I need more. My management team, yeah, right. Yeah, I need more money. No. That's what we're having. One side is offering more money to get that fucking belt. Don't worry, we won't have to get the belt from you because it's not about you. It's about your belt. So understand that, Deontay. Your most prestigious WBC belt, it's not about you, though. It's about that. So while he's claiming the A side and all this and all that, okay, he can claim the A side all he wants, but reality will spark one day. And when that day happens, I will be there, and along with a lot of other people that see someone that you don't even consider a threat knock you out. And his name might be Dominic Breazeale, because you remember, this is the guy that's been training, waiting for his opportunity, and he's been frozen out and all that. And it's easy for Deontay Wilder to do that to guys under him, like Dominic Breazeale. You know, he froze out Dillian White. That's why he ducked Dillian White, right? Well, now he's doing that shit to someone that he shouldn't. You can't freeze out Joshua with 3 belts, bro, and brings in all that revenue and money and endorsements. You have no idea what you're doing. You're going to be on an island all by yourself thinking that you own that bitch. But understand, ain't nobody else on that motherfucker but you. So that's what I'm saying, guys. So, you know, look at Dominic Breazeale. Look at Deontay Wilder. You know, look at Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas. You know, and I don't like to compare Mike to Deontay. That's an insult, first of all. But just an analogy, right? Just an example, right? Well, Buster Douglas was a 42-1 underdog in that fight. And Buster Douglas got the knockout. Let that shit sink in. When he figured, well, you know, he's just going to be another opponent. Looking towards people like Holyfield. Remember that? Because that fight was in the works. As you guys remember, if you've been watching boxing as long as I have. That fight was in the works. That's why when Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson, which was a long count, it was a long count for Buster because Mike Tyson actually dropped him. But anyway, you know, that fight was on the table. That fight was being discussed before Mike got knocked out, you know. And of course, Buster got knocked out by Holyfield. But anyway, you know, it can happen. That's what I'm saying. So don't be surprised when it does. But anyway, I know this video was long. I had a lot to cover. The boxing voice, it opened a lot of people's eyes. A lot of people are starting to see the bullshit. You know, of course, please subscribe. Tell me what you think about this new recapped video, extended. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.